God must have been thinking, okay, so you see this plan? It ain't happening, girl. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So I know this video is long overdue because Zayla is 9 months now, but I still think that it's an important video and that I should definitely upload it. Just because practically everything in my birth plan didn't happen, but I still feel okay with my labor and delivery. I feel like it was just God's way of showing me that, you know, look, this is your plan, it's not gonna happen, but I'm still here and I'm still gonna give you a good labor and delivery. So I'm just gonna pull my video up on YouTube and I'm gonna talk to you guys about what actually happened and what the plan was. I was so confident in that video. Yes, it's gonna happen. This is gonna happen because of this. Can I say? Nothing went as planned. So the main choice that I made was to have a home birth. Now I just think that okay, let me pause that there. So I was supposed to have a home birth. We were at home. I had the pool set up. My husband blew up the pool. We were filling up the pool and everything like that. But because my waters broke and 24 hours had passed and I still wasn't giving birth, I had to go to the hospital. And I was so disappointed. Like, that's the one thing that I wanted. A home birth. A home birth. Like, we had our hospital bag packed and everything just in case, but I was thinking in my head, that ain't gonna happen. We won't need those hospital bags. We won't need to go to the hospital. And I was just devastated when I realized that we had to go to the hospital. The midwife came and I maybe had 4 hours left out of the 24-hour period for me to give birth, and she said that I was 1.5 centimeters dilated. My heart broke. I was just so upset. I was scared to go to the hospital, really, just because, you know, the horror stories you hear about the hospital, because the midwives, doctors, they're so busy, they just like sort of rush you into giving birth. They may cut you and stuff like that. So yeah, home birth didn't happen. I feel so much more comfortable in my own home while giving birth. And just to think at the end of it, I can sleep in my own bed. I can be somewhere where I know. Girl. And if an emergency does come up. Sleeping in my own bed after I give birth? Yeah, right. We were in the hospital for 5 days. So after Zayla was born, because she wasn't breathing when she was born, and because she was jaundiced as well, we had to stay in the hospital for an extra 2 or 3 days after I gave birth. And then before I gave birth, we were in the hospital for 2 days or 1.5 days. So we were in the hospital for ages. So moving on to what's actually written on my birth plan, the first thing is no medication. I like to give birth as naturally as possible. So no medication, that didn't happen. I had to get the hormone drip because my contractions weren't close enough together and they weren't lasting long enough. So that was to induce my contractions. I also had gas and air. That was after a long time of just breathing through the contractions. And then I also did have a pethidine shot, and that was an hour before I gave birth. So that didn't happen. When they told me that I was only, what, 4 or 5 centimeters dilated and I had been in labor for maybe close to 40 hours now, I just gave up. Like, if I'm not even close to giving birth right now, how can I get through another, what, like how many hours of these contractions? So I was just like, give me the pethidine shot, because at that point I was tired and I felt like I didn't have the energy to push this baby out when it was ready. The next thing is free from movement, so I want to be able to move around and find positions that I feel comfortable in. And that's free from movement. I was allowed to move around while in the labour ward. It's just that I had to stay next to the machine because they were measuring the baby's heart rate and then also monitoring myself. So because of that, I had to stay close to the machine because the wires, it wasn't wireless. So I was allowed to move, but not the way I thought I'll be allowed to move, or the way I wanted to move when I recorded this video. Water rupture, like intermittent monitoring, because I don't want to be... So the water rupture, that was natural. They didn't do that. Like intermittent monitoring, because I don't want to be disturbed too much. So the intermittent monitoring kind of happened and it kind of didn't. The midwife I got at the hospital was amazing. So she was there at all times in the room, but she was very quiet. Every now and then she'll, like, you know, check if I'm okay. She'll talk to my mom, she'll talk to my husband, but she wasn't there, like, she wasn't constantly talking or constantly making noise or something. So I knew she was there for any help, but then she's also just giving me my space and giving my peace. I like the lights to be dimmed so that when the baby... So dimmed light sort of happened, but not for long, because I had to keep checking on the baby when I was close to giving birth, and there was like so many doctors in the room. There was like this little machine that they have when the baby comes out and they put the baby on it underneath the light. They had that, so there were so many people in the room that they couldn't actually have the dim lights. They were very concerned for Zayla for when she did come out. So yeah, dim lights didn't happen, all the lights were on. I almost got blinded. Same. I'll also have my hypnobirthing music playing. So hypnobirthing music, I did have that playing for majority of my labour, but when the pains got really, really bad, I just said screw the hypnobirthing music. The next thing on here is a water birth. Now, water birth did not happen. We had the pool ready, as I said before. It was blowing up, it was filled up, but when we got to the hospital, I couldn't have a water birth just because it had been 24 hours since my waters broke. The next thing on here is no episiotomy. Now, I do not want them to cut me. Okay, that's one thing that did go to plan while I was giving birth, you know, during labour and all that. They were about to cut me. They actually gave me a local anaesthetic to numb my vagina in case they do have to cut me. And when they said that to me, it didn't register. I was just like, okay, yeah, because by then I had had the pethidine shot, so I was a bit drowsy. So I was like, okay, yeah. I didn't feel when they juked me. I didn't feel when they took the needle out. I didn't feel anything. Either I was in so much pain or the pethidine just had me really drowsy. But I didn't feel that. But when Zayla was coming out, I was pushing. She was like, they could see her head, and I was pushing. One of the doctors came from behind the midwife and had some scissors, some long ass scissors, ready to cut my vajayjay. And my amazing midwife and my amazing husband were both like, no, like, don't cut. And I thank God. I look back at that moment so many times and I'm just like, thank God. My husband was amazing. He was on it. He, you know, he was focused, and thank God I had an amazing midwife. This one is limited cervical exams. It's sort of like the intermittent monitoring. I didn't really have that many cervical exams, so that's kind of another thing that happened. 2 things so far. I had one at the house. I had one while I was in the delivery ward, and then one upstairs. So that's 3 in total in the 43-hour period. So that's not too bad. Don't want to be disturbed too much. So that is all during labour. The next part is after delivery, which is immediate skin to skin. Now I would like immediate... Yo, immediate skin to skin did not happen. Zayla came out and they took her straight to the machine thingy. Like, I didn't even check or see if she was a girl or boy for myself. Caleb went over and saw, and he came back to me and he was like, we have a Zayla. That's how I found out if it was a boy or girl. Didn't have immediate skin to skin, and even when they did give her to me, she was wrapped up in a towel, so skin to skin didn't really happen. The next one I have on here is delayed cord clamping. Now this is important for me because delayed cord clamping, that did not happen, because as soon as Zayla came out, they had to cut the cord so that they could bring her over to the machine and make sure she was okay. She was very drowsy when she came out because I had taken the pethidine shot, and because there was only 1 hour between me taking the pethidine shot and me giving birth, so a lot of that had passed down to her. The next preference I have is to save the placenta. So okay, so is that the 3rd thing? No, 4th thing, 3rd thing? I don't know, but that's another thing that actually went to plan. I did keep my placenta, but I didn't get to eat it. I was dehydrating my placenta, okay, and my little brother decided that he wanted a pizza, so he took my placenta out the oven, put his pizza in the oven, increased the temperature. Then when he was finished, you know, he ate his pizza, I put my placenta back in the oven, and he left the temperature that he had it at. So my placenta burnt. So all that hard work I went through, and I didn't even get to eat my placenta. Preference is for my partner to cut the cord. That's important to me. So Caleb didn't get to cut the cord. He had the scissors in his hand ready to cut it, and when he went closer to cut it, one of the doctors or nurses, whoever it was like, oh, I don't think it's advisable that the husband cut the cord. So he just put it down. My next preference is breastfeeding ASAP. I would like to breastfeed. So that didn't happen either. Dear God, my birth plan is just shambles. So I didn't get to breastfeed Zayla as soon as possible because they took her away, first of all, to the machine, and then after that she had to be taken into neonatal. So we went down to the delivery ward and we stayed there, and she was up in neonatal for at least 2 days while we were in the hospital, because she wasn't breathing properly, she was drowsy, and she had jaundice. So I wasn't able to breastfeed her. I could go up to the neonatal whenever I wanted to breastfeed her, but they also gave her formula while they were up there. Next one is the vitamin K shot. Now, I'm generally against all these vaccines and medication and stuff like that, as you can tell. So the vitamin K, she didn't get the shot. Well, no, she got the shot. Did she get the shot? Yes, she did get the shot. I would have preferred if she had it dropped in the mouth, but she did actually get the shot. Because they had to give her some injections anyway, or she was on the drip or something anyway, but she got the vitamin K. God. No bath for baby. This is important as well. Right, so they didn't wash her, but they did wipe a lot of the vernix off. So that was another thing. My next preference is delayed exams for bonding. As I said, with the immediate skin to skin. So delayed exams didn't happen. Again, she was drowsy, she wasn't breathing. They were concerned for risk of infection and all that. Pitocin only if necessary. They use this for afterwards for delivery of the placenta. It basically... So I didn't get the Pitocin. I delivered the placenta naturally as well. So that's another thing. Yay! It's not too bad. So one of them is for my partner to be present at all times. No use of non-natural induction, so I want to go into labour naturally. As I said before, I had the hormone drip to induce my contractions. God. Dry delivery of placenta. Because I will be having a water birth, we don't want the placenta to get wet, so I actually have to get out of the birthing pool. Yo, I said because I will be having a water birth. I was confident. So yeah, as I said before, didn't have a water birth, so dry placenta delivery was natural anyway. To deliver my placenta, and I do not want to give birth laying on my back. So I gave birth laying on my back, not completely laying back. I was slightly up, but I was still on my back and in the position that I did not want to be in. I did try and turn around and go in the squatting position on my hands and knees, and another midwife, not my lovely midwife that delivered Zayla, another midwife came into the room and she was like, oh, why is she on her hands and knees? She needs to be on her back. Nah. So that is my birth plan. I hope you enjoyed it. Wow, that was an eye-opener. I think I'll still use the same birth plan for the second baby, but it just goes to show that childbirth is just so unpredictable and anything can happen. But I'm still so happy with my labour and delivery. It didn't go to plan, but I still feel like it was successful and it's everything that I wanted. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and if you're worried about your birth plan not going to plan, I hope this video gives you confidence that even if it doesn't go exactly to plan, you can still have an amazing delivery. So yeah, good luck with your delivery if you're pregnant, if you've already had your baby. I hope you're enjoying your baby, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Bye guys, stay sweet.